But I find this one quite interesting. Nick, maybe you can pull up Brennan Paltrow for us here, the photo of a newly elected mayor coming from Rabbit Hash, Kentucky. So it's a famously elected the dog Brennan Paltrow as mayor. So you can see we haven't completely lost our minds. It says here a little bit that there have been other towns that have elected goats, cats, and even mules. Plenty of jackasses have been voted as mayor in ceremonial elections to raise funds for fun. So hopefully they raise some good money and it goes to a good cause out in Rabbit Hash, Kentucky. Ever been to Rabbit Hash, Kentucky, Bert?
Nope, and never even heard of it until today,
Yeah,
Phil.
I think it sits along the Ohio River up northern Kentucky border there, I believe. I've never been there, but I think that's where it sits.
Yep.
All right, Bert, let's get into some of these election results that we've seen and talk a little bit about them. And then let's get on to what it means for those listeners in the state of Missouri that have some changes to make relatively quickly as the timeline to make these changes is very short, really. But we had some very close swing state results. I know most of our listeners have looked at these, but when I look at these results, I look at this and I'm like, when people say their vote doesn't matter, holy cow, the vote matters here, does it not?
Yeah, that is for sure.
I mean, you look at Pennsylvania, Nevada, Georgia, North Carolina, Michigan, Wisconsin, Arizona, all in very, very tight margins. And when you mentioned, if you were a union representative and you didn't vote because you didn't want to give Trump your vote, but by not voting, it definitely impacted the results as well.
Yeah. Really interesting to see what happened across all the so-called swing states, and the electoral college, kind of a landslide in the electoral college, and even some consider that to be a landslide at the popular vote. Just again, I think all of the pundits on TV can cover that a lot better than we can. But yeah, really an interesting times in the country.
All right. One of the other things we chatted about last week was Amendment 3 in Florida was the adult personal use of marijuana that was on the ballot. And it needed 60% to pass. I believe that was for their constitutional change. They needed 60%, and they got 55.9%. So it did not pass. They did get the majority of people to say yes, but it didn't pass with enough strength to change the Constitution there. So adult use marijuana in the state of Florida did not pass. But they still, I believe, have medical use of marijuana available should that be needed. Anything you want to add to that, Bert?
Nope, I think you covered that one, Phil.
All right. And then Missouri proposition.
No right to weed in Florida.
No right to weed, unless you're medically necessary.
Unless it's medical, yes.
Right, that's right. Yeah.
Thank you once again for tuning in to This Week at Work. If you enjoy the show, please share it with your colleagues. Forward our invites. Share the link aimea.org/This Week at Work, or follow or subscribe wherever you get your news and entertainment, like LinkedIn, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We're everywhere you are. And you can be part of the show. Send your questions and comments anytime to info@thisweek.work. We'll see you next week, 7:30 a.m. Central Time, when we discuss what's happening this week at work.